Okay, I'm just gonna go off the cuff now, completely off the cuff. You know, so there once was a man named Henry the Snip, and he was at Bliss Brothers, and he was told by his professor. He said, "Why do you drink and eat breakfast at Searing and read the newspaper at the same time?" And Henry the Snip said, "Well, I'm an astronaut, and that's just the way that we do things." Well, the professor said, "Well, but don't you know you're lessening the enjoyment of the breakfast at Tearing and the reading of the newspaper by combining, not combining, or combining the two." So Henry the Snip said, when we were coming back from, you know, the big blushing moon in the sky, there were like two or three of us, and they told us before we went. Now we had families by that time. That it kind of like was, you know, it's comparable to a woman getting her tube tied. So that, especially due to political contingents, I don't know what. They say, before you go to the moon, every one of you must get stepped. And the professor said, so that's why you read the newspaper and breakfast is here at the same time. And Henry the Snip said, listen, I'm just doing what I'm told to do. You have to, every astronaut is going to go to Mars. Before they go to Mars, they're going to get snipped. So be prepared. Now, we were told by our, what's this? Is this something here? What's over here? Something here. Let's see this. It's not a snip, so let's see. What's this? Oh, he did the same thing my brother did. Warning. Product contains a button so recording battery. Okay, these are buttons. What does it do there? Does it turn on? Oh, there it is. So it's got an SD card. It flips back and forth. It's kind of like a horsetail or something. So all his products are. So I have to ask him. That's not. It's attached to something else. And the snippers of the snippers would be a captain skipper. So why am I scratching my armpits in front of a camera? So the professor said to Henry the Snip, it doesn't matter if you have to, every time you go to Mars or the moon, you have to get snipped. There's no reason for reading the newspaper and, breakfast and tearing at the same time. You're losing the effects of both by combining them into one. Well, what about, said Henry the Snip, if I was having a colonoscopy, reading the newspaper, eating breakfast at the same time? And the professor said, well, then you would be in a tripolar juxtaposition situation, in the position of petticoat junction, upside down town, where everything is sun up or sun down. And then, so Henry the Snip had learned many things in life. He had learned many things from his wisdom. And this is what the professor, one of the things that the professor noticed. Henry, I must tell you, Henry the Snip, that you never get yourself snipped. No matter how many kids you've had, how many times you've entered the music room and you know, plumed with the pluck and the no matter how many, you could have millions and millions of scattered little uh, jack brats all over the world. You don't get snipped. The reason is because why? Why is the reason? Why would you not get snipped? Now think for a minute. Why is the tubing of the tubing of the tubes not available in this realm of existence? If the tubing of the tubes is not acceptable, why is the snipping of the snip not acceptable? You know why? Henry the Snip said, I know why, but I'm not a Christian, so I don't care. I'll get snipped anytime I want to. But the Christian God is your God, and you're allowing yourself to be snipped. You know what happens when you get snipped? I'll tell you, said the professor. You lose your pizzazz. And Henry the Snip looked at him. How can I lose my pizzazz just by being snipped? And the professor said, take an example. Have you ever had a cat or a dog? Well, it's not exactly. They don't exactly get snipped. It's something else. They get more of a clipping. It's different from a snip. It's more. It's more. They can hop around a lot easier. Well, that happens. No, it's not that. That's not what I'm talking about. It's something else. It's something else that happens. The cosmos is less enjoying their beneficial claimage of habituating chivalry, dignity, and just joyous festivities all around and everywhere. In other words, you lose a sense of your your creative powers, your strength, your inner resolve, and you lose something within the self that people saw before. But you're a little dull of hat now, Henry the Snip. You just don't have the same rhythm, the same ring to your phone. You don't have the same verse to your poem. Henry the Snip, you get out of bed a little too late in the morning. You flop down back into bed a little too early in the night. And Henry the Snip, you shouldn't have done this. It's not a thing that a man believes in, destiny in the heaven where nobody has ever any angel been snipped. So Henry the Snip said, we will continue this conversation later when we take the train. Take the train to see the rising of the Snip soldiers. The rising of the Snip soldiers. Where are they located? Well, they're up in Arashat right now, said Henry the Snip. We have everyone in Arashat has gathered to form an alliance of snipped, snipped deputized, the deputized to the snip, and this is what we're forming. And how are you financed? The snippery and with you're confusing me, Professor. I'm on trazodone. Are you serious? You've been snipped and you're on trazodone. Well, Henry the Snip, because Henry the Snip was now baffled. Well, you're given the gift of endowment. You could go to college. You could go to to the moon or Mars, and you give the endowment through the and you snipped. This is by no means is this. They can't tax you, they can't max you, they can't wax you. So I'm going to put it in law because I'm a professorial dull as they say I have no personality. Is that true, Henry? And Henry looked at the professor and he saw gargoyles on massive cathedral windows. He saw the Sistine Chapel at the top of the church, Michelangelo's masterwork of art. He saw naked as a roebuck David, with this robe over his shoulder, naked as a beehive and quadraphonic stereo mix. He saw cities popping out of the ground. And he looked at the professor and he said, "What I see in you is what Kierkegaard described as a man of repetitious rhetoric, which is different from the poetic, according to Lakoff. But Lakoff's not right," said the professor. And the professor bloomed his Petusius, and he turned into a carbonated mixture of Steve Pinker, Joyce Lakoff, and a bunch of others, and they plumed together, and they becometh one. And they said to Henry the Snip, they said, "Now do you know who I am? Now do you understand?" And Henry said, "I don't believe it. I'm a Christian now, but you've been snipped. I don't care. I'm a Christian." Well, I'm telling all the viewers, the tube that are tied and your snips that are snipped shouldn't be, along with a decent amount of sincerity. And there we have it. And these episodes will continue because I don't have the heart to write negative stuff. We just have joyous festivities. We care for each other. We love each other, and we salute one another, and we do great things for each other. And this will be the new world. And we get to the ultimate snippery, which will be coming soon. I want to say that, should I leave Henry the Snip as a continuing weekly character, or should I diverge processed harmonies of gyrational discourse and send him on his way? I think he hasn't been fleshed out yet as a character. So next time we will flesh out Henry the Snip and give him more dexterity of personage. And we will continue this series and find out where it leads us to the road of armpit scratching. And would you like? Now, what they do when they snip, I'm not sure. With the light down the tunnel, because they have to look for driblets of. Now this is bizarre, but the light down the tunnel, it should give you a matinee ticket back if you don't get at least a local